What is going on, YouTube Nation? This is Dark Dividend. If you guys are new to my YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so not miss future videos. So you are seeing my dividend portfolio, not completely finalized. You know what? I'll correct myself. It still has some modifications, but I'm just about finalized with my strategy. Now, there's a few things I'm going to tell you that need to be added and fixed. So that's going to be added to the portfolio eventually. But I'm going to tell you how I got here with my dividend portfolio, the hard work that I've done, and some things that M1 Finance may add that I'm hoping they're going to in the future so that I can create this dividend investing strategy so I don't have to touch it and have certain pies invest into certain pies, like the dividends from pies going into pies. I'm hoping that that happens in the future. That would be amazing. But right now I have the replica here showing you what everything inside of it, my distribution, and how I'm doing it. Now, again, if M1 Finance changes their investing strategies so that you can have pies investing into pies and dividends from pies into other pies, that's going to change. And I'll show you what I do and what I did with it. But right now, I'm going to have to leave it as is. So we're going to see what's inside my dividend portfolio, and I'm going to explain to you what I'm doing with it. If you're new to this YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so don't miss future videos, smash that like button. Let's check out my dividend portfolio right now. I first want to give you an introduction of myself. My name is Gary. I am currently a travel nurse. I am soon to be a nurse practitioner, working hopefully July 14th might be the day when I start working as a nurse practitioner. I really loaded up my dividend portfolio and I took advantage of being a travel nurse. And that's going to end, but the money was really good. So, what I did with my income being a travel nurse, one, it helped me be student loan debt free. So, I'm student loan debt free. Two, it helped me power up my dividend portfolio to get to $154,788.91. But I still need some things. So I'm going to conclude at the end some things that I need to do to make this dividend portfolio more powerful. So first, I want to show you how much money I put into this dividend portfolio to get where I'm at right now. So I started my dividend portfolio in 2019. So I threw in $510. Then in 2020, during the pandemic, I was in the middle of nurse practitioner school. I started taking pathophysiology and statistics at that time. I only threw in $9,403.14. And I did pay off some school. So I did pay off tuition. I was getting tuition reimbursement. So I was a little frugal with that. And I did save up money. So I waited a year to go back to school. So that way I could put in some money in this dividend portfolio to start building it up. So that was a good milestone to reach. $10,000 in 2021. And that was a big stepping stone. So looking at 2021, again, I'm in nurse practitioner school and doing YouTube videos with you guys. And again, learning and involving as a dividend investor and learning and involving my dividend investing strategy, being a high yield dividend investor, a value investor, a dividend growth investor, and a growth investor. If you see my other portfolio with my IRA right here, I'm buying stocks to build up my traditional IRA. And again, those aren't really big dividend growth stocks. Okay, if it nvidia in there, but again, I want to use passive income as a form of a retirement pension. So you'll see 2022, this is when I started to travel nurse. Right in September is when I started doing that. And I started really pounding away with my dividend portfolio. Pounding, 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 and putting money in. 2023 was another year that I really put money into the dividend portfolio. So 2022, $17,242. 2023, $35,939.52. Then in 2024, so 2023 and 2024 is when I started paying off student loans. 2024, I put in $36,349.18. 2025, I'm right at $10,000 right now, and it's May, but I plan on putting in a lot more money. So right now, I'm just being a little frugal. The thing is, there's a little bit of uncertainty with my travel nursing job. What happens with this NP job? Am I going to need a little bit more money off to the side for like an emergency fund? How am I going to allocate? There's a lot of questions. So I didn't put in a lot of money yet to power up this dividend portfolio. But again, I'm at 150K right now. So, and again, during my conclusion, I'm going to tell you that, and I'll tell you right now, one of the things I'm going to mention in the conclusion is I need probably 100K more to build up this dividend portfolio. So now let's look inside what's going on with my dividend portfolio in my pies and fractional shares. So right now, it's not bad. Again, dividends earn $1,095. I know this is tweaked and everything. I'm actually making more, and I'll show you in a second. My market gain is $11,141.43. Okay, but I will show you real quick how much I'm earning right now in my estimated income after I show you my pies and what I'm doing. So this isn't completely accurate that I just made $1,095.36. If you subscribe to my YouTube channel, which I encourage you to do, all my content is free, you'll see I made way more than that in the previous months. I'll get to that later, but make sure you subscribe and you got to hit that notification bell so you don't miss my videos. I am pumping out a lot of videos for you. So let's look at my slices. Now this looks a little interesting. So we have income firepower, we have options income ETFs, we have MSTY and plty, then I have pharmaceutical / dividend growth stocks. So honestly, it's dividend growth stocks. I'm going to rename it dividend growth stocks. So, and you see my allocation right now, 56%, 40%. And then you have the options income ETFs 1%, and then MSTY and plty at 1%. So I can't really allocate everything. If M1 Finance allows this, so this is what I'm going to do. My income firepower, okay, which is up there, okay, that's going to buy, I'm thinking about using that to either buy pharmaceutical dividend growth stocks or just use it to fund the options income ETF. So I really haven't finalized that yet, but I have a pie percentage, which a lot of my dividends are going to the dividend growth stocks, which I'll go over. But you'll see options income ETFs is 1%. So I'm putting money in. I want to really use these option income ETFs to buy high yield dividend stocks and to buy dividend growth stocks. And you see MSTY and plty in itself. So I'm going to start with pharmaceutical / dividend growth stocks. Just call it dividend growth stocks. I'm going to rename it dividend growth. So I'm up 6.67%. I got $33,518.42. I'm going to click this right now and show you, again, the way I created this, I earned $93.31, okay? But honestly, I've earned a lot more, and I'm going to say that again. So value-wise, okay, you see I just started with Walmart. That's down there. But let me go to the targets. So I have Capital One Financial in there. I think that's a really good dividend growth stock. The trends have done really well. I'm going to provide my rationales in a lot of videos with my dividend growth stocks that I own. Costco's on fire. It's just, I think they're a little overvalued. I'd love for them to split, but it is what it is. It is growing like crazy. I have Home Depot at 4%. I have Kroger at 4%. I have Lowe's at 4%. I have Microsoft at 4%. And I added SCHD at 4%. So again, that's a really good dividend grower. The nice thing about SCHD is if a company's not hacking it with dividend growth and it follows an index, then it kicks it out and replaces it with new companies. So that's the good thing about SCHD is it evolves and adapts to the ever-changing market and in the environment, okay? So it adapts and changes so you get good dividend growth and solid dividend growth. United Health Group is at 4%. Visa is at 4%. I put Aflac at 3%. I have American Financial Group at 3%. I have Broadcom at 3%. I might get it at 4%, so I haven't considered that yet. McCormick, I have it at 3%. Nike, I have it at 3%. Pepsi, 3%. Starbucks, 3%. I have AbbVie at 2%. I may jump that up. ADP, I have at 2%. I have Bank of Montreal at 2%. Bank of Nova Scotia at 2%. Coca-Cola at 2%. Darden Restaurants at 2%. One thing I may do is move this into another section, Bank of Nova Scotia and Bank of Montreal. I haven't decided if I'm going to do that yet. But this is, again, my portfolio, the way I'm doing things. And again, you guys can change it anytime you want because I'm giving you a copy of my dividend portfolio. Dollar General, I have at 2%. Johnson & Johnson at 2%. JP Morgan at 2%. McDonald's at 2%. Mandela's at 2%. Morgan Stanley at 2%. Procter & Gamble at 2%. Target at 2%. Hershey Company at 2%. Toronto Dominion Bank at 2%. Tractor Supply Company at 2%. I may get that higher. United UPS 2%, Walmart 2%. Walmart doesn't have the best dividend growth there, but I needed to add them. They do grow their dividend, but it's just not as aggressive as some of the other ones that I have at a higher percentage. Wells Fargo I have at 2%, Yum Brands I have at 2%, and Jackson Financial, the only reason I put it at 1%, I bought it during the pandemic and it has blown up like crazy. I just cannot keep up with it with the fractional shares. So that is my dividend growth right there. Still, there may be modifications. I will tell you if you're a subscriber and you follow my videos, the changes that I made. Very good companies, very good dividend growth companies. And again, if you watch my previous video, Nike, Pepsi, Starbucks, those three are really hot right now. And United Health Group, it's been down. So those four dividend growth stocks are hot. Now let's jump to the next group. So we have the options income ETFs. I have a lot of money in there. And believe me, the income from these option income ETFs has done extremely well with buying dividend growth stocks and high yield dividend stocks. So what I plan on doing, again, is an idea, is either having the dividends from pharmaceutical / dividend growth stocks to go after the options income ETFs and dollar cost average and put money and throw money specifically in the options income ETFs and use the income firepower to fund the pharmaceutical dividend growth stocks. That's another thing that I have in mind. It's just a really good headache to have if M1 Finance allows that strategy to happen. So we're going to jump to the options income ETFs. And I'll go over MSTY and PLTY, what I plan on doing. So right here, I kind of have a distribution percentage. I have the curve yield at 24%, the yield max at 18%, the NEOS at 30%, and the Rex and Pro shares at 28%. So there's a few things. Now, if you want to rank them with the ETFs that I feel safe or companies that I feel safe in this pie, I would rank yieldmax ETFs at number 4. The volatility and stuff can be really dangerous at times, so you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. I'm still going to fund the yieldmax ETFs, but I feel way more confident at number 3, which is curve yield. Number 2, the Rex and Pro shares, and I'll show you which Pro shares I have, and the NEOS at number 1. So if you want to rank with ones I feel more confident in and protecting the NAV, that's how I'm going to rank it. So I'm going to start with a curve yield. This is what I have. And the only problem, one thing I'm going to mention is there's not all the securities are there yet for the curve yield ETF. So I can't add the other ones. And I want to have a distribution schedule so that I earn passive income each week with the curve yield ETF. So the Google one's not there, and I'm pretty sure the Microsoft one's not there. I will be adding those if they're available. TSLP, I'm doing very good in. It's very positive. I'm up 36.23%. Now, I've earned way more dividends than $276.15. Now it's just adding it to this one. NFLP, I'm doing pretty well. Again, I've made way more than 70.82. It's just the way I set up the schedule. And Amazon, the Amazon one, I need to put more money in because I only got, I don't have that many shares in the AMZP or Amazon one. So how many shares do I have or holdings? I'm gonna have to see how many holdings I have real quick of that. Let me jump to this real quick with AMZP with shares. I don't have a lot. But again, that's one I need to get up with only 39 shares. I'm not going to round, but I'll just say 39 shares. So I have a ways to go with that. But I'm going to jump back to the other ones. What I have inside. So we have the curve yield, the Rex and Pro shares. Now I may consider doing the weekly options ETF. Okay, I may add that. I got to figure out where I put XPay. I know it's hiding somewhere, but with Roundhill as well. So I didn't add a section with Roundhill, but that may be included in here. But I have SEPI, FEPI, AIPI, and BITO. And as I said before with BITO, I'm going to use the income of BITO to buy MSTY specifically on here and on my E-Trade account with BITO. I'm going to buy MSTY and PLTY monthly. And I'm also going to use the YouTube income and my other side hustle money, passive income to buy MSTY and PLTY. That may change in the future if Curve Yield has one with MSTR, because I do think that one could actually beat MSTY with NAV and safety. So that's one thing that I think can be a possibility. So we have those. All right, let me get back there. No, that's a lot of clicking. And then I'm going to jump to the Neos ones. Now, there's one that I want to add with Neos. Yeah, I put the Round Hill one right here with XPay. So that one has distributed pretty good passive income for me. So the Neos ones are a little bit safer. Even BTCI. I made a prediction that I do think BTCI will outperform MSTY and NAV. Now I'm not talking about or discussing reinvesting the dividends. I'm just talking about NAV, long-term wise. So BTCI I have, QQQI, SPY-I, IWMY, and I squeezed XPay there. The other thing I was going to mention is I am considering getting the REIT options income ETF that they have and putting it in here as well. So I'm going to jump to the other one real quick, which is the yieldmax ETFs. Now, I have nvdy, gpty, lfgy, nfly, and fby. Now, these are the weekly options, lfgy, gpty, and I was going to get hopefully I get the symbol right, chpty, and add that for that. So I got the weekly income, and they seem okay. Of course, there's no guarantees, but I like their portfolio and the way they do things. So being on the X space, they kind of said, Jay and Mike, the way it sounded to me, that ULTY was their first experiment. And then you have these new ones that are doing very well, GPTY, LFGY, and CHPTY, which I've been on M1 Finance to add. So make sure you speak up to M1 Finance and add that security. And again, if you guys have an M1 Finance portfolio and you like securities that are not on here, tell them to add the securities. So you can go in this chat down here and I had a chat with somebody. Somebody asked me on X about something, but you can go on message and you can ask a question to request a security. So just be aware of that. If you want a security on there, go on M1 Finance and request a security in the bottom corner. So again, you have MSTY and PLTY. So right here, again, the income's going to go there. Again, the volatility's there. The distribution of PLTY was fantastic. Then, Jay asked me in that X space, the guy with yieldmax, do I have an issue with them starting at $50 with some of these yieldmax ETFs? My answer was no. I do not have an issue with them starting at 50. I think that's not a bad idea at all. So MSTY is doing well. They have a distribution that's pretty strong. But again, using PLTY and MSTY to buy dividend growth stocks and SCHD, the one option that people have to do is reinvest, 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 reinvest. But why not use the income from BITO to buy that? And then if I can, the income firepower to supplement the options income ETFs and the options income ETFs income to buy pharmaceutical, the dividend growth thing. So that's what I have in mind as well to really turbocharge my dividend portfolio. And now I'm going to jump to income firepower. This is kind of separated into some things. So we have high yielders, BDC, and ships. I'm going to explain to you some ships that are added, some ship stocks. Now you got my REITs and energy sector stocks. So the high yielders are going to be down a little bit. The REITs are going to be down a little bit. And my energy stocks, I kind of separated some of their dividend growers and threw them in here because I think they need a little bit of more attention to be paid into. So the high yielders, okay, again, this is not completely set in stone. I'm going to have to change the distribution. I may change it a little bit, but I have the REITs that I'm kind of focusing on right now. I'm probably going to get a higher percentage in the energy sector stocks too. But again, if you use my dividend portfolio and you use this, you can modify it and do whatever you want. So high yielders. So I have right here some high yielders. Okay. Now I believe smoking is a choice. I think it's terrible. I know I work in healthcare, but again, smoking is a choice. The sin stock, people are going to smoke and it doesn't matter how much. So, yes, I invest in Altria for income and I invest in Philip Morris. They go to zero, I'm not going to be upset. So, IBM, 5%. Next Era Energy, 5%. Philip Morris, 5%. Prudential, 5%. Bank of America, 4%. Bank OZK, 4%. Citizens Financial Group, 4%. Conagra Brands, I considered them a high yielder at the time, 4%. Fifth Third Bank Corp, 4%. Fidelity, Group of Fidelity National, 4%. Kimberly Clark Corporation, 4%. Hero, 4%. Blue Owl Capital, 3%. British American Tobacco, 3%. Flowers Foods just added into SCHD, by the way, 3%. Franklin Resources, 3%. Hormel Foods Corporation, 3%. Nexstar Media Group, 3%. Truist Financial Corp, 3%. Tyson Foods, they are down, 3%. US Bank Corp, 3%. Yes, I have Verizon added at 3%. And Comcast has jumped up a little bit. Um, I may get rid of them, may not, so I can't really confirm if I'm all in love with them. Invesco Mortgage Capital, IVR, I'm back at them. I put 2%. Old Republic International, 2%. Pfizer, 2%. One Main Holdings, 2%. UVV, 2%. Wendy's is way down, and I really don't want that much distribution in them, so I put them at 1% right now. So you can change percentages and stuff, but this is what I have. I really love Wendy's as a company. Tyson Foods, their last time I checked, their yield was a little bit higher, so I'm going to give them a little bit more attention. So, and Conagra Brands has grown its dividend pretty well too. So again, you see a little bit of the financial sector stocks up here in Altria. Altria's distribution has been fantastic, and I have Philip Morris, of course, next to Altria. So some good high yielders. All right, let me click out. All right. So let's go to BDC firepower and some ships. Now, this one's probably risky when you look at business development companies and high yielders. Okay. High yielders, you don't really have the best dividend growth. That's one thing. When something happens, pandemic, recession, market's not good, business development companies, their dividend sometimes gets cut. But I love their income. I am an income investor. I told you that. Okay. So I have Ares Capital at 6%, Blackstone Secured Lending Fund at 6%, Blue Owl Capital Corp at 6%, Carlyle Secured Lending Fund at 6%, CMB Tech. I want you to look into them. That's a very interesting company. I may do a video on them too. 6%. Vitus Investment Corp, 6%. FSK KKR, 6%. Hercules Capital, 6%. Trinity Capital, 6%. TCPC Black Corp, 5%. Golub Capital, 5%. Saratoga Investment Corp, 5%. TSLX, 5%. Zim, I'm back with Zim. I'm going in with Zim. I'm going to probably buy some shares eventually. I don't know if I'm going to use it from the Neos or somebody, but yes. I actually saw a Zim truck out in the Cleveland area. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh my gosh. Right when I'm starting to buy them, I start seeing this. At one point, they were popping. Maybe they'll recover, but a lot of people got burned. I actually made with what I made and what I lost during the pandemic time, actually did pretty well. So I really can't complain. I'm back at it. I told you I would eventually get back at it, and it's time. Bearings BDC 4%. CSWC Southwest Capital 4%. Runway Growth Finance, I got back at them 4%. Scion Investment Corp 3%. Crescent Capital 3%. Yes, PFLT Pennant Park Floating Rate. That's pretty sure it's a monthly distribution with uh, with a business and being a business development company. So that's my strategy with the BDC, firepower, and ships. Now, let's go to REITs. I really like REITs. So I will show you my target that I have. Now, real estate investment trust. I really love real estate investment trust. Now, I was thinking about adding them to the dividend growers because there are some really good dividend growers. And some of them have done amazing. So this is what I have for my REITs right here. Alexander Real Estate Equities, 6%. American Tower Corporation, AMT, 6%. Iron Mountain Corporation, 6%. Prologis, PLD is a symbol, 6%. Simon Property Group, SPG, 6%. Digital Realty Trust, DLR, that's 5%. NNN REIT, NNN is the symbol, 6%. Alpine Income Property Trust Pine, that's 4%. Broadstone Net Lease, 4%. Care Trust REIT, they've done pretty well, 4%. CubeSmart, 4%. Essential Properties Realty Trust, 4%. Innovative Industrial Properties, 4%. Invitation Homes, 4%. Rexford Industrial Realty, REXR, 4%. Vici Properties, VICI, 4%. WP Carey, 4%. WPC is a symbol. Four Corners Property Trust, FCPT, 3%. Gaming and Leisure Properties, GLPI, 3%. Getty Realty Corporation, 3%. NetStreet REIT Corp, NTST, 3%. Reefy Chicago Atlantic Real Estate, 2%. That's Reefy, think about it. NSA National Storage Affiliates, 2%. Omega Healthcare Investors, 2%. Rhythm Capital Corp, 2%. So now let's jump to my other ones. My final one. So energy, okay? I just said energy. So we have One Oak. I really like One Oak. It's a really good dividend grower. Then we have Chevron Corporation at 10%, Exxon at 10%, ConocoPhillips at 7%, Hess Midstream, HESM, 7%, Marathon Petroleum, 7%, BP, 6%, Enbridge, 6%, Energy Transfer, 6%, Enterprise Product Partners, 6%, Kinder Morgan, 6%, MPLX, 6%, Shell, SHEL, 6%, TRP, TC Energy Corp, 6%. So that's basically what's going on with my high yielders. So let me jump to one more thing. So here's my estimated dividend income. I've earned some pretty good money in January 2025. So the start of January, I made $2,630.78. Then in February, I made $2,235.46. March, I made $1,609. That's when I sold some of the yieldmax ETFs. You see my income going down, but again, I wanted a little bit of quality. Then April, 1,321. So it's been down. Now it's just this dividend portfolio. My estimated income I have left is $13,294.65. I've been paid in passive income $8,616.55. My pending income is $147.94. So right here, I'm creating my own retirement pension. So I want to conclude some things. So this is the income that I have estimated, but again, that can change. The PLTY can change its distribution. Do you really think it's going to be $7 all the time? Probably not. Do you think MSTY is going to be consistent? No. So I'm going to conclude a few things with my dividend portfolio because I want to be very clear with you guys what my intentions are and what my final strategy is. So let's discuss the long-term goal. I am 39 years old. I turned 40 August 20th. All right, so again, the long-term goal, I really want to earn good money in reinvest it. I'm going to be reinvesting for a long time. I want my income from the options income ETFs to go after the dividend growth stocks. I'm going to be honest with you, dividend growth always wins. I can't rely on these options income ETFs all the time. That's the one thing that's stressful and frustrating is, sometimes you're just not going to get good income sometimes with the dividend growth stocks. So I'd like to be um, the thing with the dividend growth stocks is, do I have $2 million on me? No. The people who have retired on, everybody has a different story. Okay. Do I have $2 million? No. So some of these people that have posted videos, and I have to respect, I love Gen X to death. Amazing dividend portfolio. The guy pretty much retired on dividends. I don't have $2 million. Okay. I'm not at that point. I like high yield. I'm kind of like dividend bull. I like high yield, okay? But I like dividend growth. I mean, I always discuss with Russ and Ryan Williams about dividend growth always wins and dividend growth stocks that are hot and what am I buying and why I'm in SCHD. I know SCHD stands happiest man in the world that I am now an SCHD guy too. But again, you have to be well balanced. You can't just be 100% high yield. You can't just be 100% dividend growth. Good luck unless if you make like probably 300,000 a year, you can put that money away. I want to get to the point where I don't have to put that much into this dividend portfolio, and that way, the it's almost like a hamster on a spinning wheel. I can get that going. And what I'm also going to bring up is with the M1 Finance changes of distribution, if I can get this going to where I can have my, again, options income ETFs to buy the dividend growth stocks, the income from the dividend growth stocks to buy the high yielders, or change a little bit of a distribution that way, or mix it up so that I can, have all these guys invest in each other, I will do that. But right now, I'm kind of right at this point with my dividend portfolio, with my strategy to try to have um, some of these distribute into the others. Now, what I'm going to do is really dollar cost average and buy the options income ETFs. That's why I have it at the 1%, so that I can try to get some of these dividend growth stocks to be bought with this income. Hopefully each week I can make good income with these options income ETFs so that I can buy these dividend growth stocks. And if I can make 5K a month with the options income ETFs and put that into the dividend growth stocks, I'll be a machine. So I still haven't, ruled out making modifications. Again, Exxon and, Chevron, can I put that in the dividend growth section and change that? Absolutely. Can I add Prologis to that and add Iron Mountain to the dividend growth section? Absolutely. So I just need to wait and see what happens with these changes of distribution. But this is what I'm doing with my dividend portfolio so far. Now, adding and changing stocks and ETFs, yeah, I may add Apple or some other dividend growth stocks. I may get rid of some dividend growth stocks. Nothing's set in stone. But I'm just showing you my dividend portfolio, what I have finalized for right now. Now, things can change. What happens if there's a dividend cut? Look at Arbor Realty Trust. they did a dividend cut. They appear to have one. So things changes happen. I can't, it is what it is. And then maybe I'll have to adapt and add or replace stocks. But I'm giving you a replica of my portfolio, and you guys can do whatever you want with it. So I promised you I would do it. I did it right now. Of course, there's going to be modifications, and you're going to have a link to my portfolio. See my changes. If you're new to this YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos. I will try to squeeze in a video for you tomorrow, but I spent a lot of time doing this, building up this dividend portfolio and going from there, so you might get a video on Saturday. Take care and have a good one. I'm going to jump to my disclaimer. So as a reminder, this is a disclaimer. Do not use my YouTube channel for any form of financial advice. It's strictly for entertainment purposes only. Investing is a big risk. You can gain money, you can lose money. So be aware and do your due diligence. It is best to seek financial advice from a financial advisor. So go to a financial advisor for financial advice. Go to a tax advisor for tax advice. You don't have to buy stocks because I buy them. I'm doing this strictly for entertainment purposes only. You have to be aware of these risks. I've said that numerous times. Now, I can't confirm if I'm long in some of these ETFs and some high yield dividend stocks. Some of the dividend growth stocks I can confirm I'm long in. For example, Starbucks, for example, Lowe's, for example, Home Depot, for example, probably Broadcom. That's another one. Pepsi, Coca-Cola, I'm going to be long in them, but I can't confirm all of them. So this is why I tell you don't have to buy things because I buy things, and you shouldn't. You should have your own investing strategy and go see a financial advisor to get financial advice. Take care and have a good one.